welcome to a new episode of Be a Fan podcast. How's everyone doing? Yes, I've taken a week off. I think with the scheduling that is upcoming in the summer, this will probably be an every other week show. Still posted on YouTube. You'll find me there. Some of you may already know I have discontinued the audio version of that. I don't think it has been quite the success that I'm hoping for. But you can still go there and look up some of the archive shows. I have great guests there talking about how they got into League of Legends, and definitely be a good source to know some of their stories, like Basil Leaf's story, like Numi's story. You got to hear a little bit about Cubby as well. But we're moving the hosting site to YouTube, and that will be the plan going forward. You'll get some video as well. I'm trying to level up on this one. I've tried several in the past to make it more entertaining, make it more interactive. But overall, I do like to figure out a way to be more interactive with fans. And the show is a passion project. I just hope to continue along the lines of pumping up our region and give you some of the perspective from a fan point. So there's very little analysis. There's very little, talking about things that have already been talked about in other podcast forms, such as Pros, such as the Dive. They will give you all the skinny and information you need to know about the state of the patches, strategies, even differ a little bit from Hotline League, although I wouldn't mind starting one that's more for Eastern folks, since Hotline League typically happens late for myself. But welcome all, be a fan. So let's start off with one of the bigger news of last week. We all were saddened from the news of Shusei's passing. He was, the first ever season one, not season one, but the first ever League of Legends winner, played for Fnatic. According to this article, right, he was ever one to be honored with a free skin as well. And so the saddening passing, fairly young individual, and people known him for his Gragas play, known him for his AP Alistar, kind of pushing the boundaries of how League of Legends was played on a professional stage. So certainly a individual before my time, but his reach extend beyond eras and generations to come. And so we are certainly taking a moment to honor the person that is Shu Shei. With that said, let us look into some LTA news. We're going to talk a little bit about some of the happenings, and also we'll look into LTA Fantasy. I think this will be another quick show. Just help me build a team, help yourself build a team. Let's look at the standings right now. Because it's fantasy related, I will look at the South as well, because this will give you an idea of maybe who would be a good play. So we have Pain Gaming, who's undefeated, followed by Vivo Kid, who lost last week in their first series, and then in their first series of this stage of groups. And then Israel's Estral was able to take a win, and Leviathan, fortunately, 0-2. This team that started hot in the early split has now fallen a little bit backwards, and Israel's it's still inconsistent, but we definitely see some good coming from this. And then in the second group, Group B, we have Furia, who's undefeated, Loud to split a 1-1, Red Canids to split 1-1, and Fluxo, who is coming in at the rear at a 0-2 series. Looking at these different groups, I think a lot of the good chunk of fantasy point is coming from Furia, is coming from Loud, is coming from Pain, not so much from Vivo Key, more so from Isra's Estral. And in a little bit, we will take a look at their next week's matchup. It has made it very easy to kind of predict who you want to play, who you want to roster, and kind of build your roster around once you know the matchups, and I've been enjoying it. I've been still closely following it. Now let's look at the LTA North. We have Team Liquid, who went undefeated. Now this was not a very clean series, if you will. They did put in a lot of fight, but they are a 4-0 in series right now, ahead of Cloud9. So they've taken the spot as first seed over Cloud9 until next week when they face each other, or this upcoming weekend when they face each other. Now, Cloud9, this was a very entertaining weekend. I would say they were in danger of losing. They lost their first map against Lion, and then in the second map, I was more than expecting that they would get swept, but they made a comeback, and then game 3, they really just closed out the game against Lion. But that was a highly entertaining game. There were certain elements that definitely influenced that. Vulcan, as it was released, he had to attend a funeral for his friend who passed. That several weeks ago we talked about this, and so their scrims are shortened, and you can sort of see the effects of that. But it's still give it up to this team to persevere, to push through. Otherwise, we would have a very interesting first group in Group A. So then this guy's 0-2. I'm just gonna say they tested Team Liquid a little bit, but it wasn't enough for me to say that they've taken steps forward. Of course, they also are not as bad as they were in the best of ones, and so in this best of series, guys, we just cannot go back to best of ones. Best of 3 is just the way to go, and this maybe help with some excitement, but they are more than likely going to see the offseason pretty early. One of the teams that will be going boot camping and with the LTA South, and so maybe that's going to be exciting, and that's a way for them to level up. That was the plan going into what happens once they hit the playoff period of Split 2. So second group, FlyQuest did win, but it was also one where they were tested by Shopify. All right, they won the first map very easily. Second map, really, they tripped over themselves. Perhaps it was a draft diff. Perhaps it was just overlooking Shopify. But Shopify really played well in that second map and kind of took the lead and never looked back. And FlyQuest, for all their prowess, for all their accolades for being the best team or looking like the best team of the LTA, they lost one of the maps, so they did not have a clean series for them. But they were maintained the undefeated record in that group. Now, 100 Thieves previously lost to FlyQuest, came in looking a little shaky. I think Dignitas may be leveling up. I'm seeing some good things from Surdy. I'm seeing some cohesion from this team, but it's very slow moving, where they almost took a map from 100 Thieves, and then they end up losing. And so Thieves went 2-0 in that on last weekend series. And so this weekend, they will go against Shopify Rebellion. FlyQuest will play against Dignitas. We'll see if Shopify is able to punch up. Are they coming together? Is it just because Fudge was peeved about the comments made by the FlyQuest coach, ranking him as one of the worst top laners of the LTA North? But that set up for a very, very fun and dramatic drama, for setting up for a drama there to talk about, right? And so that is the standings we have right now. It is more than likely that FlyQuest and 100 Thieves will get through to the next stage, unless Dignitas takes a win, and then we have a crazy tide, and they will have to sort of fight that out. I'm fully expecting, Dignitas will have to beat FlyQuest, but if Shopify beats 100 Thieves, and FlyQuest beats Dignitas, we set up for a crazy three-way tie between Fly, Dignitas, and Shopify. For a chaotic outcome, I would want to see that. So you'll see me kind of rooting for Shopify to take this one, but my expectation is FlyQuest and 100 Thieves will go through. So in other big news, UG, they finally announced the official signing of UG to Team Liquid, who will be Team Liquid's sixth man. In the previous weeks, I didn't get to touch on it. There's a lot of speculation about Umti's how he's taking this news, how he's overall just not is not the most positives. Even some people are noticing in the interviews with last week's interview with Umti, even despite winning 2-0, he does not look like his chipper self. UG is one of the highly sought after, I would say, there's a lot of positive talk about UG, and his story is crazy. I mean, he's played in, I think, Southeast Asia with 120 ping and still look like one of the better junglers. he played against EU, I believe, EU in the EU server. And now that he's in the United States, he's been here for quite some time, the still sorting out the visa issues of making him a permanent resident. So I still don't think we'll see him in this split, but coming in, he's officially signed with Team Liquid, and we will get an opportunity to see him in split 3, similar to what FlyQuest is doing with I think the top laner, right? His name is escaping me right now. They will carry a 6-man team. Team Liquid will carry a 6-man team. Maybe other teams will follow suit, but Yuji is the jungler that is officially signed, and we'll all give our attention to see how this unfolds. Let's look into fantasy. How did your fantasy team do this week? One of my teams, got me 64 net worth of gold. Now, I'm not at the top, but definitely with this team, I am past, let's see. Yeah, I am above Kobe and chasing after Raz. I'm only short by 7 points. I'm trying to catch up to Azel, and I don't know if I can catch up to Kangas. Kangas is a beast in here, but the number 1 spot is a 683. How are we supposed to beat a team like that? That's just crazy. These people are really amazing in the way that they put these team together. You went full Team Liquid, and 1 week full C9. This is the meta. Just full stack a team that you think will do really well in the week against a weaker opponent. He kicked that off with a really strong performance by Vivo Kid, and interesting that he never go back there. So it seems like he changes his team every single week. It is not a single player holdover, whereas many people are thinking about, let me hold on to the players that get good value for them. As you can tell, I can barely crack 100, and I do change around a little bit myself. So I like the strategy. Don't stick with the same team. Yeah, Arsh has been doing really well as well. He's went with the same meta of almost full stacking a team or trying to full stack a team, and just picking out good matchups. And so we can look into these matchups. And for those in my other account, I am actually only 53 gold. That account is not doing very well. Let me see if I can find it for you all to see that account. Really, really, to my best ability, I still could not crack a lot of points. I've been doing better lately, but as you can tell, I've done a mix and match, trying to find good value, trying to stay to the idea of just picking jungle and support and making those the plays, because I think they've been getting a lot of points, but the meta has been showing in fantasy full stacking a team work well. If you have the money, if you have the gold, go for it. I think it is fairly simple. It's undefeated until they change something about it. You just take advantage of that and go for gold. So let's look at the matchup. We have Pain against Isurus. Now Isurus, like I mentioned, is maybe turning around the corner. They have some good games, have some bad games. And Pain, I have every confidence to believe that they're still going to be good. This might be an area that you can look into Isurus as a potential play, and as a value saving. If you believe they can go 2-0, you can full stack them. Vivo Key against Leviathan. Again, a Leviathan, it looks very weak, but with Brazil, the South, it's always such a hard thing to believe in trends and patterns, because nothing holds. You think you figure things out, and then boom, nothing great happens. But I'll tell you this, nobody is looking to stack Vivo Keed after their performance last week. This might be a team you can go. I think that this could be a game with a good amount of points, not the best, mind you. Then we have C9 against Team Liquid. Depending on the cost, I think C9 is fairly expensive still. But if you were holding over C9 from last week, it's not a bad idea to hold them over this week. The games between these two have been really decently scoring. I would say above average. And so if you're holding on to C9 and believe that they can sweep Team Liquid, this would be a place where, of course, C9 players will be good to stack. Now, with that said, if you don't have any C9 players holdover from last week, I wouldn't suggest buying into them. I would take a chance on Team Liquid if you're chasing points A, and for sure you are not going to be competing with anyone. You are going the opposite, doing the opposite of what the trend does, and that may be your key to try to catch up. It's an all or nothing risk play, right? You either fully put your eggs and hope that you get ahead of the field because you're already behind. It might set you further behind, and that's the risk. If you're not risk tolerant, maybe this is not the play for you. Next game, 100 Thieves against Shopify Rebellion. I think there will be a lot of 100 Thieves backers. I am one of them. You can see my team here. I'm probably going to switch out Whippo. It's really expensive. I lost value on him last week, as most of you. I'm just coming in thinking maybe I can recoup value because I think he'll make a bounce back. So I'm still debating between back and forth whether I to keep Whippo or to play Sniper. Sniper has been a decent play, has never been really high scoring. Maybe I'll keep my roster as is, but this is where I'm going, folks. With the gold that I have, full stack, 100 Thieves with one off on Whippo. Believing that Shopify is a very, very giving team. I don't believe that they made the turn the corner. I think the Fudge thing was a big bulletin board material where he showed up really well. But overall, I think Shopify is a very giving team, giving of points. Now, so coming on Sunday, Furia against Fluxo. This is another full stack on Furia that you can try if you have the gold. This can be a bloody game. I would definitely say I would like this game better than the Vivo Key Leviathan game. I like this game better than the C9 Team Liquid game. Not so sure if I like it more than 100 Thieves. That may be equal, maybe I'm wrong, but that's close. So full stack Furia, that's another way to go. Loud versus Red Canids. Now, this is very interesting. Many people are seeing Loud potentially making a comeback, or maybe they just had a really good matchup last week. And as you can see, round 5, the most picked was all Loud players. People went with the fantasy meta of full stacking a team. But they were against I believe they were against Fluxo, right? Who did they play last week? Scoreboard. Excuse me, not the North. I'm looking at the South. But, people are already, shifting their strategy to just going for a full team. And so, they were played against Fluxo, which is not a bad, like I mentioned, 17 total kills, 16 total kills, as you can see here. So there is a possibility that this really caps their upside of Furia, because Fluxo was easy to beat. You're guaranteed to win, but the scoring may not be as high. But against Red Canids, it's a much tougher opponent, and so I think if I remember, we'll go to the market in a little bit, but Reds has been quite a difficult team to beat right now. They look very strong, right? Am I right on this one? They got swept by Furia, 15-26. Maybe not that strong, but these are some like brands, FNB, Aegis. You could go both ways. I think you could go both ways with this. You either stack red or you stack Loud. Then we have Fly against Dignitas. If you have the gold, spend on Fly, go for it. This very easy. I like where Dig is going. I just think Fly is much stronger. And after the scare they have last week, I think Whippo is coming back much stronger, and Fly is just going to shit on Dignitas. Nothing else I can say. And then this is a very, very fun game. Lion against Disguise. Much like how I say you can full stack Team Liquid to catch up, you can potentially full stack DSG. But Lion just looks better. But Lion looks like the better of the bottom teams. And so if Lion is cheap, which I expect them to be, let's go to the market to figure out. Full stacking Lion might just be another combination you can consider. Look at this. They're all the way down here. why not? Full stack lion if you want. Let's see. Lion, right here, middle of the pack, 10. Lion. Saint with 10. So we're at 20 gold plus, let me see, licorice is 7, 8 gold, 10. 28 gold. 28, 29, 30, 38 plus minus. And then lion 11. 38 plus 11. I could go a full team of lion. I think that's what I'm gonna try to do in my other team. This is they're just a little bit over 50 gold if you full stack lion and you think that it'll be DSG. I think that could be a strong way to go. Reds is also possibly another, but it's a chance that I have to take here. So yeah, red is not bad too, but you will need to have above 50 gold. If you are like me, you're under 40 gold, under 50 gold because of some bad plays. You have to try to play a potential upset like Disguise, like I mentioned, or Isurus is another one that it's worth taking a chance on. But it's gonna be very hard for you to pick on the FlyQuest teams, pick on the C9. Wow, Umpty is more expensive than Blabber. This is great value for Blabber, honestly. And that might be the way to go. So I'm offering you different strategies. Think about what you need to do by now, because we're entering week 6. There's week 7, and then the split is over. You have to do your best to catch up at this point, and I can't suggest trying to mix and match. Just go for what has been working. So good luck to you folks. Have a fun weekend. Who are you rooting for? What game are you most excited to see? Let me know. Put down in the comments. Check out our show. Continue to support this channel if you want to by subscribing, telling people about it. If you have some things you want to discuss as a fan, please join in the show. It's always open for you. Until next time, folks, continue to be a fan.